Hello, agents. It's Jerk with another episode of Declassified, where we can take a quick look at new premium ships. If you don't know, Wargaming provides them to CCs as part of the CC program, so I can get my opinion on them out there. But just because they give them to us doesn't mean we're gonna like them. I think you can tell that by most of the reviews that people gave of The Sims. Anyway, today we're going to look at the brand spanking new Pan-European Tier 6 destroyer Orkan. And in the background, I just have some clips from various games I've played, and if you're looking for a down and dirty opinion right off the bat and don't care about the context or anything, it's pretty good, given the right situation. But for something a little more in-depth, let's dive in. Now, first and foremost, I want to bring up the biggest selling point of this ship, which you will see in this clip. No, not the radar. Listen. You can stealth fire your secondary with it. Yes, I said secondary, not secondaries, no plural, because you have but one 102mm secondary, and if you like to troll like I do, then driving around having that fire at ships chasing you whilst remaining unspotted is definitely a 10 on the lulzometer. By default, that secondary fires 5.2 kilometers, but in this particular clip I have Von Hipper on as an inspiration, which gets it out to a whopping 6 kilometers, firing one shell every 4 seconds, which gives you about a 1 kilometer safety net of detection. Maximum lulls indeed, though I have yet to get a close quarters medal in it, but I did come close. Clip of that towards the end. So speaking of commanders and inspirations, you're going to need one to take this out. So if you don't have him, he'll come with Jerzy Swirsky. You see, he's not just famous. He's more than famous. He's famous. And to put on this 100,000 peso show, in most of these clips I have the following inspirations and modules. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of this ship. It is pretty much a Tier 6 Lightning. But for the benefit of balance, you only get one set of torpedoes, and while capable of being fired tube by tube, they don't have the highest alpha strike. So you may want to do the old fire one, get a flood, wait for the damage con, and fire the rest maneuver, which you'll see in one of these clips. And that's the deal with the torpedoes. So if you were to read the tea leaves of what that says about this ship, I suspect they would say this is not a torpedo boat. So let's talk about the guns. They're pretty decent, a good chance to start fires, not the longest reload, not the shortest either, but your HP isn't the most either, so you don't exactly want to be taking fire in long drawn out gunfights. Now I do have Old Bay seasoning on here, so my detection is 5 kilometers, and if I were to rank Jersey and Bay higher, I think I could get this sub 5 kilometers, which is going to allow you to outspot just about any destroyer you'll run into, with the hope that they will pop their smoke. You can radar and sink them, and then move into their smoke like an octopus moving into a coconut shell, like in this clip. Now, plenty of other destroyers out there can outgun you, like I said, but to aid with your destroyer hunt, you do have the option of twist and track, and as you know, TNT is my jam, so again, you'll be seeing me use it a lot in these background clips. So what's the biggest beef I have with this ship? Well, the ship itself? Nothing. I find it pleasant enough to play, and I think if there were to ever be a season of ranked at Tier 6, oh, there is soon? How coincidental. In a competitive mode like that, especially playing in a division, you are going to be very, very valuable. And I expect this coming Tier 6 ranked sprint that you will be seeing plenty of these doing the Lord's work, ruining torpedo boat players' carelessly made plans. So my big beef is really just Jerzy Swirsky. Stop clutching your pearls. I know that sounds sacrilegious considering how high up on a pedestal most players have placed Jerzy Swirsky, with the hopes of getting their detection down to an entirely reasonable and not at all busted distance of 4.5 kilometers on their brand new Shimikazes. But as a commander for this ship, which is arguably a gunboat, the only skill I don't have dedicated to the guns, which does cause them to reload faster, also increases my detection by a whopping 10%. And you're not going to be surprising anyone and moving into their smoke screens like that. And on top of that, there is his fourth row skill set, which is entirely devoted to smoke screens and their deployment, of which this ship just doesn't have. So that whole row is a waste on this ship. No, what we need is a gun-focused commander for this pan-European destroyer. And I think it's safe to make an educated guess that the entire ship line will be coming either as early access or a regular line in the not-so-distant future. And when that happens, we will have at least one other commander to choose from, I hope, because as far as I know on PC, there are only pan-European destroyers for that nation. So it's not like we need a generic commander or battleship or cruiser commander either. This is the clip where I was hoping to get that close quarters medal, but man, these secondary gunners, they just can't hit anything. Okay, they hit it once. Is it too soon to start a hashtag buff the Orkan secondary campaign? So I've gotten about 75,000 XP in this ship so far, and as usual, I'm not going to tell you what to do with your or your parents' money. You're the only one who knows if that's worth it to you. But assuming you like this game, and I think that's a safe assumption considering you're watching this video on this tiny corner of the internet, and that you're looking for a destroyer that offers something entirely unique, I think yes. It is competitive, and it does offer some compelling features. I don't think it excels as either a torpedo or a gunboat, but it's not supposed to. It is a support destroyer, and you can definitely have very good games in it. I've broken 3,000 XP a few times, no 4,000 XP games yet. I believe it really shines when playing in a division, as you will see in the next and final clip. And I expect that in competitive modes, it will be very good as well. Now, is it a certified Kraken printer? No, not at all, though it's entirely doable. I've seen a few posts out there already, people getting Krakens in it. I have come close a couple times, but it's not one of those ships where the game loads and I know it's mine to lose, but it's also not a struggle to end up at the top of the leaderboard if you do this ship's job, which is to scout, spot, annoy, and remove other destroyers. It really makes me hope that we get the USS Black soon, but I'll bet that'll be a campaign ship. It's also worth noting, I do not feel like I'm at a disadvantage when I'm bottom tier in this ship because it really is just a Lightning with one set of torp and no smoke, but with that powerful radar. So you see right there, I just took out a Kagero, and I'm going to take out a few other tier 7 ships in this clip too. This was a funny game, and this is the one that we're going to end on. I was playing with my division mate here, and every choice the red team made me scratch my head and say, are they really doing this? So just as I had stated earlier, I took out the destroyer and moved into their smoke to make it my home, just like some aquatic sea life. I'm going to go ahead and try and torp this Otago, but I end up getting caught in its hydro right here. So, I mean, they're going to actively dodge my torps, right? They're not going to say, no, I simply must torpedo this Scharnhorst, because that would be crazy, right? Right? No, they will not. They must try and torp the Scharnhorst. And that was the second moment where I said, what the heck is going on here? Anyway, as you can see this as a support ship, I'm going to go ahead and put down my radar now so my division mate can see where these other ships are and plan accordingly. That's one of the ways that this is a great way to play in a division. I also see the Gascon come around here, and my torps are just about ready again, but surely that Gascon is not going to just continue to sail in a straight line. I mean, surely, what are the chances? Alright, spoiler alert, I'll just tell you right now. They do. But as mentioned, these are fairly low yield torps, so you're not going to be getting many dev strikes on battleships with them. If that's even possible. I don't know. Someone crunch the numbers out there. Alright, that's going to wrap it up for this review. If you have questions or comments, you can leave them down below and I will do my best to respond. Go ahead and like this video if you found it helpful or just enjoyed it, or dislike if you would prefer to take the Sims out any day of the week over this. Subscribe to avoid missing out on all the other hard-hitting investigative reports. I mean, we will have an expose on the Duke of Dausta at some point. Thanks for watching, everybody. I will get back out there for another one, and we will talk soon.